Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin tonight with some breaking news. Fargo police are looking for the person that ran into two separate apartment garages. Around 3:15 this afternoon, crews responded to a South Fargo apartment complex on the 5300 block of 30th Avenue South. It appears a vehicle rammed into two garages before taking off. An apartment manager tells us police are looking for the suspect, but wasn't able to give a description of the vehicle. No word yet on how much the damage to the garages will cost. And now on to some new information on a heart-wrenching case we've been following for you out of Red Lake Falls. 30-year-old Sarah Corton has been denied bail in connection with the death of a 2-month-old girl. In her first court appearance today, it was ordered that Corton be held in custody at the jail in Crookston without the possibility of bail until her next scheduled court date, which isn't until next Wednesday. The Red Lake County Sheriff's Office says the baby's death was due to a physical assault that happened at Corton's home back in June. She has been charged with second-degree murder. Broadcasting personality Ed Schultz, whose career took him from quarterbacking at Minnesota State University Moorhead to national radio and television, has died at the age of 64 of natural causes. Congressman Kevin Cramer issued a statement to Valley News Live on Schultz's death, and for that you can head over to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story. Well, we had a beautiful day here in the Valley today with some pretty mild temperatures. Let's check in with meteorologist Robert Hahn to see what we can expect for our weekend. Robert, how's it looking?
Yeah, an absolutely fantastic day across the area. Wall-to-wall sunshine, just a very few fair weather cumulus clouds. Temperatures in the 70s. Tonight, another cool night. Open those windows, get some fresh air in there with temperatures dipping down into the 50s. Right now, 73 Wadena and Detroit Lakes, as well as Thief River Falls, 77 in Fargo, Wahpeton, Gwinnett, Valley City, Jamestown, and a Cavalier. Winds have been generally light. They're going to stay light as we head through this evening. They're going to start to pick up out of the south. That's going to start to bring in more heat and more humidity. But on the satellite, look at that. Hardly a cloud out there. And that's how we're going to continue as we head through this evening with no clouds, no precipitation. Here in Fargo, a beautiful evening. Temperatures dipping down into the low 70s by the 7 o'clock hour, 8 o'clock hour just above 70, into the upper 60s by 9. A cool night tonight, a warmer day tomorrow, turning hot on Saturday, and we've got some storm chances to talk about before the weekend is through, and we'll detail all of that coming up in just a few minutes.
What a beautiful day we had today.
Yeah.
Not too hot, not too cold.
A welcome
Just
change
perfect.
to the stormy weather.
Yes, and before that heat comes, the 90-degree too. Okay, Thank you, Robert.
I'll tell you, it's wonderful that Fargo Moorhead has such lovely neighbors that help us. So we were glad to get Macy back.
A Fargo woman is sharing her story after her dog ran away during fireworks on the 4th of July. And she's far from alone. Valley News Live has come across numerous Facebook posts with people looking for their lost dogs. And the Fargo Pound tells us this is typically one of their busiest days of the year. Tonight, we introduce you to Judy Schuler and have advice on what you should do if you're ever in the same situation.
The noise from the fireworks, yeah, that sent her. She panicked and she ran.
It's every pet owner's nightmare.
We were just helpless.
Judy Schuler was on her way back home after being at the lake. A neighbor was watching her dogs, Macy and Maverick. But Macy somehow escaped from inside the house. And when Judy heard the alarming news, she says she went searching everywhere she could.
I went 3 blocks south, 3 blocks north, walked the entire area.
But she didn't have much luck. So Judy's husband went to Facebook.
We thought maybe we wouldn't get her back.
And he's not the only one who did. Someone found Macy just a couple blocks away.
A couple of our friends who noticed it, they called him.
And called Fargo PD. How does it feel now she's home?
Oh, just relieved.
When you heard that she was found today, what did you say?
I was like, Oh, man.
But not everyone is as lucky as Judy and her family. Heather Clefstead with the Homeward Animal Shelter says July 5th can be a busy day at shelters.
Typically, we do see a lot more animals coming in after this type of holiday. We notice animals that have just gotten spooked and ran away from their homes.
And even though the 4th of July is now past, Heather says the fireworks typically continue for a couple more days. We spoke with someone from the Fargo Animal Pound, and they tell us they've been swamped with calls today, and they anticipate it will continue into the weekend. But as for Judy and her precious Macy, you can bet next 4th of July, she's not letting her out of her sight.
It's okay.
In Fargo.
Heather Clefstead with Homeward Animal Shelter says this year has been less busy than previous ones. But what is the first thing you should do if your dog runs away? Heather says to check your local pound or police department. And she tells us there are some missing animal Facebook groups that you can post in, just like Judy's husband did. A man was sent to the hospital in St. Cloud after trying to avoid hitting a deer and going into a ditch. Minnesota State Patrol says Kelvin Upia was heading east on Highway 27 in rural Todd County when the deer jumped out in front of him. He then swerved, broke through a cable barrier, went into the ditch, and eventually stopped by a creek. The driver was hurt but is expected to be okay. A new report shows speed killed 88 people on Minnesota roads last year. That's why authorities are beefing up patrols to catch speeding drivers this weekend. Along with slowing down while heading out of town, you're reminded to give the driver in front of you a 3-second following distance. Extra enforcements will be on the road until July 22nd. A 32-year-old Minnesota woman was killed and 2 others were injured after being struck by large pieces of falling ice in Alaska. Wednesday afternoon, authorities were called to Byron Glacier, which is about 40 miles southeast of Anchorage. When they arrived on scene, they found several people had been hit by falling ice. Investigators say the victims were walking under a hollowed-out compressed snow mass, which resembled a snow cave. Brittany Bogle, a teacher in Minneapolis, was killed when the snow ceiling collapsed. Troopers say a man, as well as a 6-year-old boy, suffered minor injuries. The Hibbing Police Department is now offering a $25,000 reward for information regarding a murder. Police say Brian Nelson was murdered in his own home almost a year ago today in Hibbing. Despite an investigation, authorities haven't been able to find the killer and are running out of leads. Anyone with information is urged to call the Hibbing Police at 651-793-2726. North Dakota's health department is warning residents to avoid blue-green algae that can develop in bodies of water. Hot summer weather contributes to the production of the algae. People and animals who ingest affected water can get sick and even die. People are urged to avoid water that looks discolored or scummy or has a fall odor. Algae blooms are most common in the late summer here in North Dakota. The North Dakota Game and Fish Department is investigating an incredibly rare and bizarre find. A 2-headed white-tailed deer fetus was found near Mandan. This is an x-ray of the animal. A homeowner's dog dragged this back to their house in April. It was then turned over to officials to figure out what it was. The department says this is extremely rare, adding it's only the 4th documented 2-headed white-tailed deer since 1761. The city of Fargo is working to address the issue of dangerous homes that may be having an impact on property values. Today, crews tore down an abandoned home on the 700 block of 10th Avenue North. Officials say taking care of these eyesores isn't just about how things look on the outside. It's to prevent vagrants from breaking into buildings and also prevent the potential spread of mold that may be inside the homes. Tonight on Valley News Live at 9 on Fargo CW and Valley News Live at 10, we look into what demolishing these homes costs the city and if they think it's worth it financially in the long run. And if you're hosting your first summer party and are looking for ways to spice up your patio, we have some ideas for you. First, make sure you have enough seating for guests. Some retailers have patio selections from small sets to full dining areas. You can also add your personal touch by picking out cushion colors to match it with some comfy pillows. And when it comes to decor, try picking shades from your favorite flowers, then mixing in a patterned tablecloth with small pops of color. And for more on how you can host a perfect summer party, you can just head over to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story.